One more, this isn't a full future force. It's kind of a mini one. It's one that I'm building out right now. But as I said, I've worked a lot of the last few years in Ghana, and it's caused me to look at what are usually called frontier markets. And this is a really bad term, not bad term, it's just a very inaccurate term because it's like frontier to who, like they're not really new, they've been there the whole time. I think my friend has the best name for them, but you can't really use it in presentations, like Mendiba markets, markets recently discovered by Americans. And so these are different from the BRICS because the BRICS are often called emerging economies, but it's not really accurate anymore. The biggest US listed IPO in history recently happened, Alibaba, a Chinese company. Budweiser is now owned by the largest beer company in the world, AB InBev, which is run by Brazilians. So to say that these countries are emerging is a little bit passé. And so, but there is this class of countries beyond the BRICS that have massive populations, high volatility, and high growth. So this is Indonesia, the third most populous country on the planet, very high growth. Bangladesh, seventh most populous country on earth, very high growth. Nigeria, 2/3 of the population of the United States, 10% growth year on year, pumping out billionaires and $100 million startups every year now in Lagos. So we're going to see a lot of disruption here in Palo Alto, where a lot of innovation is happening from places that we don't expect. And it's not just a matter of oh wow, these places are catching up to us. They're actually innovating in completely different ways than we are. And so I suspect, don't have enough evidence to really make this statement yet, but I suspect that Palo Alto might be the declining curve. And so we need to start building out our connections with very diverse markets, even beyond what we consider to be diverse markets right now, if we're going to be able to make the jump. So this is an example from Ghana. Could I mute it while it plays in the background? Can you mute the sound so I could just talk over it? Thanks. This is a product by MTN, the largest one of the largest telecom companies in Africa. It's owned by it's based in South Africa, and they are partnering with an insurance company in order to give mobile insurance through SMS. So this is completely unlike anything we would see in the United States. Of course, we have life insurance here, but with this, you have an SMS phone. It has a SIM card in it. You load money onto your SIM card in the form of mobile airtime. So you buy a scratch card, it has like $10 worth of airtime. With that same $10, you can either make a call, transfer it to your friend, which whether or not they have NTN, they can withdraw it from an office, and you can now sign up for insurance. When you sign up for insurance, all you do is text a code, it deducts an amount from your airtime, and then you are covered up to a certain amount for that month. If you miss a month's payment, you're just not covered for that month. So we said this for a group of State Farm managers, and they were sitting there just like what? Like how? You know, and so Ghana actually isn't a lower regulation place than California or the United States necessarily. It's just they're different. And according to our regulations, you can never have a telecom company that then becomes a bank and then is a money transfer service and then an insurance company all in the same phone with no partners. You know, if you look at the Apple Pay ecosystem, they had to get the credit card companies and the regulators, and they had to get the banks, and they had to create this massive ecosystem just to do the same thing that you can do unilaterally here. So this is an example of how radically different innovative business models can develop and mature in places that we might not expect. This is an example from East Africa, which I've never been to, but know a little bit about. This is from Kenya. This is again, all on SMS. This is for farmers to increase the efficiency of their market pricing. So there's people at the farmers bring their goods to market. They're often cheated by middlemen who on their way to market, because they might be too far from the market to actually know what the pricing is. The people at the market enter the pricing. The farmers also enter their desired prices on the phone. That data is aggregated by partly automatedly and partly by a team. That data is then used for two things. One, through a text, the farmers can receive the price of the goods at the market very easily. And then that data is then, the company gets revenue, one, by selling the data for people who are interested in agribusiness, because agribusiness in many African countries is a huge part of the economy. And two, they're able to arrange for commercial purchases, because most commercial buyers don't want to buy a basket of yams, they want to buy 10 tons of yams, but you might not have enough friends to make 10 tons. So they use this service, and you can enter your pricing, and they help make those sales and take a cut. And this last one, I think, is probably my favorite. This is by the oldest software company in Ghana. They're about 15 years old. They're called SoftTribe. And they have a few different really innovative products. They're started about the time that Ghana shifted from a authoritarian government to a democracy. And this is called Hey Julo. So Julo is a Ghan word for thief. And so Ghanaians hate thieves. They hate them. Like, if someone steals a phone or anything, like, all of a sudden you hear like, Julo, 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 and you should hope that the police catch you. Like, they give you the mob, you're screwed. And so the other factor is that in Ghana, the police are not, their response time is rather slow, you might say. So they recognize that there is a need to kind of bridge the gap for social infrastructure in terms of security. With Hey Julo, you pay 15 Ghana cedis a month, which is the equivalent of about $4. That's affordable to Ghanaians also. And you get four things for that $4 a month. One, you sign up 10 of your friends, and you get a number. And if you call that number or send a blank text, all of them are alerted that there's an intruder in your home. So someone's in your home, you think someone's in your home, you send the text, and then all of a sudden your neighbor's like, what's going on? Like, what's going on at Kofi's house? And then second, you get an ad on a local radio station. So if you send the text, all of a sudden, like, the taxi driver's going along, it's like, oh, this just in, house of the mango tree might have an intruder in it. So they're like, oh, what's going on over there? You know, and then third, they hire a private, and I think this is the really big innovation, they hire a private security company that you could not afford on your own, but because of the amount of subscribers, they are able to send it for you, like insurance for security. And they call the police, but nobody really expects them to show up on time. But the reason why this is my favorite signal is because there's now a lot of places in the United States where we could use this. Parts of Oakland, parts of Detroit, parts of New York. It would be really effective, it would be really cheap, and it wouldn't be a replacement for the police, it'd be to help them in areas where they have slow response times or underfunded, things like that. So anyway, that's not a full forecast, just like a glimmer of something that I'm working on. I'm going to be going to Nigeria at the end of May to continue some on-the-ground research there in Lagos. So takeaways from the presentation. One, prepare for the digital natives and be careful with the Generation Y and millennials. That's us. Think gameful engagement. Watch out for frontier markets. And remember, clarity. To gain power in a VUCA world, you have to give up control. And that's a glimpse of the future.